It was illegal to leave England without the king's consent. But in 1608, a small Puritan congregation quietly emigrated to Holland. There, they sought to worship without persecution. These Puritans were known as Separatists.
They believed that the Church of England was so hopelessly corrupt that it could not be remedied, and so they wanted to separate from it entirely.
Holland was a disappointment to the Puritans. The economy was structured around craft guilds, and foreigners were barred from joining. More importantly, the Puritans believed the Dutch were not pure and godly enough for them to make a permanent settlement.
They were dissatisfied or apprehensive about continuing to live in the Netherlands. And then in 1620, they began to think in terms of coming to America.
To create a community of holy and righteous Puritans, or visible saints, some of the Separatists decided to cross the Atlantic. These pilgrims secured permission from the Virginia Company to settle under its jurisdiction and joined a group of non-Separatists on the Mayflower, a ship headed for Virginia. In 1620, after 65 days at sea, the crowded Mayflower missed its destination and arrived off the rocky coast of Massachusetts.
So they had this patent that authorized them to settle under the Virginia Company's aegis. The Virginia Company at this time claimed huge amounts of land, so it would have been somewhere in New York, but they didn't go to Virginia Company land. They went to Cape Cod. And so they didn't actually have a legal basis for their government, or a legal basis for being there, for that matter.
Since they had no legal right to the land and no specific authority to establish their own government, settling there would make the ship's 102 inhabitants squatters. As a result, before going ashore, the ship's 41 adult males drew up the Mayflower Compact, which served as an early foundation for self-government.
And so the problem was then, how do you govern people if there's no legal government or no legal basis for government? And so they decided that they would draw up the Mayflower Compact, which is a very simple statement agreeing that they would abide by the decisions of the majority, and every man signed it.
Soon, adult male settlers assembled regularly to make their own laws in open town meetings. In the settlement's first winter, half of these pilgrims perished from malnutrition, disease, and exposure. But the colony survived.